How's everyone doing? We're feeling good. I'm pretty sad. I was so excited to do my video with whatever this thing is in my backdrop. That's all I care about. But the sun is not permitting, so I'm gonna find a new place. This is what I got. I know, I don't want to hear it. But I live in Chihuahua, Mexico, so I do my best. It's not too bad. It's the golden hour. We're gonna work with it. It has been 3 weeks since I recorded my last video, and before these last 3 weeks, and during my mission, the gaps in my schedule of uploading was more because I had nothing else to talk about. These last 3 weeks, on the other hand, is more because I had too much to talk about and was struggling to figure out how to compile it into a nice 10-minute video. You guys have more foresight than I do. You know how long exactly this video is. So I hope it doesn't cross over 12, but we'll see what happens. Because of that, also, I have a script written on my beautiful Plan de Salvación folleto, just so we can stay on topic, we make sure we stay on task. It has been a crazy 3 weeks. Probably the craziest of my mission, some of my hardest challenges, and let's just get into it. This tale begins one day after my last video was uploaded. I went to bed feeling pretty good, P-Day night, which is kind of rare. It's always tough to go to bed on P-Day, but wake up Tuesday morning 3 weeks ago in a beautiful Ascension. Richie has his baptismal interview with our president, so we're getting pretty excited about that, and we also have our interviews. So that's our day on Tuesday. Richie has his interview. It takes 90 minutes. I have no idea what happened in that closed door room, and I never will. But lo and behold, Richie cannot be baptized. He has some stuff in his past that requires First Presidency permission and become a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But he has gone to the church for the next 2 weeks. So he understands what's more important. He still has a testimony. Whether he becomes a member, whether he is baptized this year or next year or in 10 years or in a life to come, I'm just very proud of the choices that Richie's been making and able to know him just a little bit more. We also had our interviews with President that day, and they brought a lot of answers, a lot of questions as well. That night, after our interviews had been all done and finished, my comp came out of the final interview with tears in his eyes, and I just let him know that he could talk to me about anything if he needed to. And later that night, he told me he wanted to talk. And I don't know the details of it, and they're not mine to know, but he let me know that he'd be going home. He's going back to Morelos, somewhere south of Mexico City, I think. But Elder Flores, my trainer, I learned a lot from him. He's no longer in the Ciudad Juarez mission, but we push on. That was Tuesday that week. It became especially weird because we didn't receive a lot of communication from President or from the APs about what was going to happen, what was the plan from there on out. So that week was a little interesting. We also had zone conference that week. This is all the way back on Thanksgiving. So zone conference was on Thanksgiving. We had a great zone conference, and I had a better Thanksgiving because zone conference was in Casas Grandes, and there's an area there where it's just the old Mormon colony in the late 1800s. So they're all members, and they all speak English, and they also all celebrate Thanksgiving. So by the grace of God or someone, probably my zone leader, Elder Sanderson, we got a full American Thanksgiving, and it was everything I ever imagined. Pecan pie, pumpkin roll, mashed potatoes, even a little bit of BYU basketball, which isn't really my thing, but definitely enjoyed it. That was Thursday, Thanksgiving Thursday. Friday, we came back to Ascension. We worked during the day. And Saturday, we still haven't heard anything else. So we worked during the morning. And by lunch, we received a text from the APs. It says, Elder Flores, pack up your stuff. And Elder Howe, get stuff for a week. You're coming with us. I'm like, all right, just going along for the ride. So Saturday night, we headed to Juarez, Ciudad Juarez, right in the center of it, where the offices are. Sorry about that. But I'm in Juarez now. That next week was absolutely interesting. That was Saturday. Elder Flores was there until Wednesday morning, actually. We had to wake up at 4 and send Elder Flores home. It was a heartfelt goodbye. It was good to see him. I think by that point he was excited to go home. He'll be home for Christmas and get to say hi to his family again. So some blessings in that too. I think he'll be in a good spot. But that week was crazy. That P Day, that Monday, we played racquetball with President and me, just a little kid, little missionary from Ascension who only ever does puzzles and plays basketball on P Day. Playing racquetball with the president of the mission was definitely something different. So that was fun. We also went to Costco. There's a Costco here in Juarez. Freaking awesome, man. But the rest of the week kind of involved in just kind of being babysat by the APs and the secretaries. It was definitely interesting. I worked a little bit when I could. I was in the offices a lot, and they couldn't really figure out what to do with me. For a while, we thought I was going to go back to Ascension. And they're like, Elder Howe, pack up your things, because I had all my stuff in the AP's house. So I'm like, I'm ready. I was going to go back to Ascension. And then Presidente Blanco had another round of interviews, and we got a call. No, Elder Howe's going to stay here. So all my stuff, all my clothes were just in the office. And there was a humbling moment some Friday morning, I think, where I'm trying to get all my stuff out. And it's been like 3 days since I've shaved because I haven't known where I'm going to bed each night. And I'm like, I'm not wearing a belt. So I'm just trying to figure out where my razor is. And I'm on my knees in the office closet with my suitcase. I'm trying to pull out all my stuff. And then Presidente Blanco gets there and saying hi to everyone. And he just looks at me. I look up at him with my razor in one hand and my shaving cream in the other. And I just buenos dias. And he's like, una disculpa. He's like, an apology. And I'm like, no worries. I was just getting babysat. But all this came to an end Saturday night when I was told I would be heading to Hacienda, which is an area here in Juarez. It's where I am right now with my beautiful construction and the sunlight shining down on me. I'm here in Hacienda. I'm here because I'm here with Elder Call. And Elder Call is a fabulous missionary, but he also only has 3 months in the mission. He's from the same generation as me. We're both in training. Our cycle hasn't ended yet, so we're not sure who's the trainer, and neither of us speak Spanish. We're both from Utah. So really, we're just trying to figure it out. Elder Call had a problematic trainer as well, and who knows, man. I'm just here in Hacienda now. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. I was told I'd be coming here with Elder Call, and we said there's lots of work to do. So just gonna see how it works out. It's been interesting. It really felt like they couldn't figure out what to do with me, and the solution they came to is just put them together, throw them to the wolves. We'll see what happened to them. I got here Saturday. We worked Saturday morning and Saturday night, and then Sunday was good. And then by P Day last week was just fine. We played some basketball. It felt like an Ascension P Day. They had a great mall we went to. That was super fun. But by P Day night, the weight of the world was on me, man. Because we had been put together as two missionaries from Utah. They did not speak Spanish. They did not have experience in the mission. And it hit me. It hit me bad. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it. And somehow I made it. Today's P Day. It's been a week. We had a great week. Let's look at my notes. Last P Day was kind of a breaking point for me. It was a moment of weakness and a time where I'm like, I don't know if I can do it, because it was all on us. It was all on me and Elder Call. My Spanish is a hair better than his, so it kind of felt like I was senior comp, and I didn't want to be. I wasn't trying to take any authority away, and we had to make the plan together. And both of us had problematic trainers, so we weren't really trained, and it was hard. Every day was hard after P Day. Tuesday and Wednesday were tough days, but during all this isn't my spiritual thought, but during all of it, each and every day, I thought about President Eyring's talk from the most recent General Conference. And he says that he could hear the voice of the Lord telling him, this is when I like this talk so much, because Henry Eyring talks about his experience at the University of Utah after his mission, and as he was trying to learn math and physics. So that's my guy, I'm a mathematics student from the University of Utah, and he talks about how he can hear the voice of the Lord telling him softly in his heart, I'm proving you, but I am also with you. And I felt that in that moment. That these moments, the hardest moments that we have, are the ones where we grow the most. Because it was such a hard week. and it's going to be probably one of the biggest weeks I've grown in. Today was P-Day. It was a fabulous P-Day. The best P-Day I've had on my mission. It was fabulous. We woke up early. We actually ran out of data. Me and Elder called because we're in training. I didn't even know there were data limits. So we ran out of data, so we woke up early to come to the church. Got here about 6:40 so I could call my fam. But after that, we headed up to downtown Juarez, and we walked by the tourist stores. I bought some souvenirs, and we saw the big churches. It was so fun. Just felt like I finally got out. And after all that, we went to a place called Los Espados, which is just the swords, but it was a Brazilian Brazilian steakhouse. If you live in Utah, you've been to either Rodizio Grill or Tucanos. It was exactly like that. You know, they just kept bringing you the meats. I just kept saying yes. I'm getting more and more spherical every day here, but just doing my best. So it was a great P-Day. I've learned to love Hacienda. I've been working in the city. It's very different than Ascension, but there still are some similarities. It's a desert and a dump, and that's Juarez. I've come to learn. But we had a great week, and we got through it. That's the whole point. Is that every single time that I feel like I can't do it, I figure it out and I can. I'm just gonna share my spiritual thought. It's a little segue straight into that, and one that I've been thinking about a lot lately. And some other people in my life have shared it with me too. And these are some words that my mom said. We're talking about my experience in this last week, and I've been thinking a lot about perspective. And my mom told me to look in the light of eternity, in the perspective of eternity. And something that I'd like to share is the crew of Apollo 8. Apollo 8 was the first manned mission to complete an orbit around the moon. So as they did that, they got a full glimpse of the Earth. And that perspective to them was eye-opening, as it would be to anyone. I'd love to be an astronaut, right? But that perspective, the Earth seems so much smaller than we thought. And our challenges do too, you know? But I've been thinking a little bit about this perspective. And something I wrote down here is, I said, in our near future, our days and our weeks and our years will mean something very different to us than they mean to us today. I like that thought because every single day seems so hard. And every single day, sometimes we can only focus on our challenges. But I know that a week from now, I'm gonna look back and only see how I grew. And I know from 3 years from now, I'm gonna look back on my mission, and I'm not gonna remember the days that it seemed like I couldn't get up, or the comps that wouldn't study with me, or the crazy week where I had to speak Spanish all by myself. But I'm gonna remember the weeks that made me who I am, and how much I've grown because of them. And I know that with that increased perspective and an eternal perspective, that this life isn't the end, and that after this mission, I'm still going to be a person. I'm still going to have challenges, but each and every one's going to make me better. And I know that's true for me. I know that's true for you. And I'm about to hit 16 minutes, so I apologize to all. I hope I did that story a justice. If you have any extra questions, reach out to me. It's been a crazy couple weeks. I hope the craziest 3 weeks of my mission for my sleep schedule, just so I know where I'm sleeping for a little bit, because man, the bed in Hacienda is not very comfortable, and my fingers are dry because half of my stuff is in Ascension. And I'll leave it off there. I really do love all of you. I've received such great support and knowledge and counsel from my family and friends and neighbors that have all reached out. So continue to do so. Merry Christmas. It's a brown Christmas here. I hear it's a brown Christmas in Utah, but hopefully somewhere else you can find some snow. This is Elder House signing out. I love you. Catch you later.